How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. Sorry for the delay. We were having a bit of an issue with our OBS and with our connector for our stream. So we got everything all set up now. We are all good to go. We are all good to kick things off here. Shout out for those of you who are in the chat, managed to come out on this Saturday night, Sunday evening. Again, terribly sorry for the late start there. But thank you to everybody who is in the chat and joining us here this evening. So just to kind of go over what we're going to do in this video, in this stream, right? Since, I've kind of been away for a while, but it's been a minute to be able to stream takedowns here. We haven't been able to do the Cellmax Grand Tour, so we're actually going to do this one live here on stream. So we are going to be running through all current events with the Cellmax here. He's a pretty powerful new unit. We're going to pretty much be running his lead for the entire time, so hopefully you guys are ready for these runs here. So without further ado, let's go ahead, let's start building our team for the first event here. So let's go ahead, let's go over to our teams here. Oh, let's pick the event first, actually. So since we're not doing the special anniversary stages now, I think we'll just go in chronological order. So we'll start with the Goku Frieza stage, and then we'll hit the Omega stage, right? And we'll just kind of go back and forth between those. So this should be really fun, really interesting. So let's build our team before we start talking. So let's start with a movie bosses setup here. Again, if we got anybody in the chat, let us know who you are. And let's get this going here. So let's go ahead. We'll start with Cellmax, obviously. All right, movie bosses. So the team I like to run with him basically sets up with Cellmax, the Metal Cooler, and the STR Fizz, and Metal Cooler and LR Cooler. Basically, they're going to be the crux of this. And then I do like to bring Turles. Now, Turles does domain clash with him. However, I do like that he... I do like that, you know, if it's a longer fight, we have access to both of these domains, right? So we'll bring that. And then, let's see, we'll run... I do like Golden, either Fizz Cooler or Golden Frieza. I think we'll start with Fizz Cooler, and if we have to shift it, we'll shift it. But either one of them for support. Golden Frieza is good because he does provide, a few things that help us out tremendously. Alrighty, so let's go ahead. Let's do it. What's up, Platinum? What's up, Timothy? How you guys doing here? You guys ready to kick this stream off? All right, so here we go. We're gonna start here. By the way, how's the Lofi? How's the everything? You guys can hear the audio, all that good stuff. Let us know in the comments.
Right, let's do this.
All right. Okay, so not the ideal starting rotation I like for this. I like to get Cooler started, but, you know, it is what it is. We got to make do. I don't want to really be resetting too much for rotations throughout this. So, I mean, if we can avoid it, we will. So this is a slightly longer fight. So I won't be, I'm not going to use the domain right away. So we'll keep the friend here and jump in with this. And then I guess we'll send off this. So Somax is interesting, but you know, as you guys know, he's designed to help blitz these fights. So I mean, ideally you do want to be using that domain turn 1, but honestly, I feel like for a lot of fights, it's better to start it on turn 2 because, right, he gets that first offense raise from his first turn. Even though he will lose, the overall stat increase on his second turn is a little bit higher. So that's kind of why I tend to delay if can. Plus, you know, obviously the Frieza and Goku stage here is a bit it's a bit longer, so we're gonna have to delay anyways, because otherwise we won't have it in the final phase, which is what we want. There we go. Okay, so even without the domain, we kind of just blitz through that. Excellent. Okay. Alrighty. So this is going to be a bit tricky here. I think what we'll do... Yeah, we'll do that. And then we'll do that. And then we'll float the metal cooler. So not only is he going to get all of that build up in the third slot there, when he comes back, he'll be ready to do his giant form, which would be perfect. Unless we majorly blitz through this, which we very well might. It is entirely possible we just blitz through this. Yep, Timothy, exactly right. The Golden Frieza active with Cell Max's domain is actually kind of crazy powerful. It's really, really good. Because, I mean, not only are you more or less, I don't want to say completely invincible, right? But you're going to tank fairly well with that active up. You're also going to hit like a truck. I think, I mean, with the support, he actually does all right. But like, I think Super Saiyan 3 Goku can actually catch him if he hits the double super before Golden Frieza gets to super. So, you know, you do have that concern. But of course, you know, with Metal Cooler around, you may not have to worry about that. Excellent. Okay, perfect. So now we're going to get all that build with our metal cooler, and the next time we see him, we'll pop his giant form. Okay, so now our only problem is we got this guy here. So do we use the domain this turn? Yeah. I guess we should, huh? And then we'll have it up the next turn. No, let's save his. Yeah, okay. We'll save his domain. I'm actually going to hold back with the Cell Max here. Obviously, getting his 12 key is preferred, but I'm actually going to hold back because I want to make sure STR Cooler gets his Super Zen to. I want to make sure STR Cooler gets his Super Zen so he can get built up here, since he started slot 7 and we are literally about to enter the final phase. There we go. Perfect. Okay, still pretty good. I mean, he's tanking pretty well here. There we go. 58 million, not bad. Okay. And there we go. Okay, and now we get to start getting built up with STR Cooler. So he's basically going to enter the final phase with only having attacked for 1 turn. And he can't even crit for me. Would have been nice. Would have been nice. All right, that's fine. One more. There we go. One more. Nope, that's a normal. That's a normal also. It didn't even have the decency to crit either. Okay, there's the crit. Okay, hey, Turles gets the super at least. Okay, so now, well, actually, should we pop the domain? See, I was hoping we wouldn't kill here, because then I would have just popped the domain, but yeah, you know what? Let's do it. Okay, so we'll pop the domain here. There we go. All right, we'll grab that for the 18 key. Grab that, and then send him off. So looking at the stats here, obviously the defense is going to be lower, right? Because we've lost those 2 turns of his build. But still enough to tank the normals here. 100 mil. Look at that. And you have people saying he's not that strong. Look at that. Gotta love it. There we go. Oh, look at Fizz Metal Cooler. And we haven't even revived with him yet. Platinum, I see your question there, right? Seeing people say Tech Metal Cooler is one of the strongest units Dokkan has released. Wondering if Tech Metal Cooler is necessary to have like the 11th anniversary units. That's a tough one. If I were to rank the must-have units since 11th anniversary, I think he ranks in there. I do think this, so I think he is a must-have unit. I would recommend every player, like as long as you have Daima Goku and UI Goku, I would absolutely recommend spending your coins on him instead of the 4s, for example. I would say that, even though I do really like the 4s. So, does that answer your question, Platinum? I do believe he's a must-have. That's what I'm getting at there. That said, GDC could bring us like a new Frieza that's insanely more must-have-er than him. There we go. And now we get the revive. Hooray, Metal Cooler. I agree, Timothy. He really ties it all together. I agree. Which is the interesting thing about Cell Max, because I don't think he's on Metal Cooler's... Well, I mean, he's not on Metal Cooler's lead, so, like, I don't think Cell Max's best team will include Metal Cooler. I think Cell Max is designed for a team that we don't have yet. All right, here we go. All right, now what would be real nice is if we can only get... I mean, as cool as it would be just to watch Metal Cooler go off here, I'm kind of hoping we just get the 2 turns so we can focus on letting Cell Max do some stuff. Alrighty. So not a bad start. Cell Max kind of doing what I expected. It's going to be really interesting to see him move through some of these other fights. Like, I did notice playing around with him a little bit with the Triku fight, that he can actually push through that fight a little too quickly, if you know what I mean, which can really mess things up. Excellent. Okay, we do get our second turn. Like I said, if we're real lucky here, we'll only get the 1 turn. Or the 1 extra turn here. Timothy, maybe they'll give a big movie bosses, super bosses buff soon. I really think that's what's going to happen. I do. Given that they gave us Beast Gohan for TDC when everybody expected something for him and during 12th anniversary, guys, I hate to be the one to say it. I don't think it's out of the question to see Gogeta Blue at GDC. Not to say that I don't want that over, say, like Namek, but I could definitely see that happening. Platinum, you don't feel the need to have him. I mean, that's fair. I mean, it's really one of those things where, like, if you have the units to run them, you do legitimately have the best team in the game. All right, yo, let's see here. All right, let's put... Okay, we're gonna have to set some stuff up here. All right, let's do that. All right. Let's grab that. Oh, wow, we've got some really bad key with this boy. Alrighty. So, I mean, not bad. Not bad. We did get a good showing out of the other one on the other rotation. So I guess that works. And we still have a domain to spare. We still have a domain to spare. But let's see how much Cooler decides to drop the ball here. Ooh, 92 million on his second appearance thanks to that domain. That domain is wild. There we go. All right, we do get the crit on the 18 key this time. That's fair, Platinum. Even with specific missions, find a way to play around. Yeah, I've done quite a few videos on how to use the movie bosses without him, and you can get away with it. Yeah, Timothy, you're exactly right. Being that it's the 400 mil download celebration now, I do feel like they are going to go big for it. The question is, what would they do? Personally, I'd love to see Namek Saga, of course, but who knows? There we go. And done. Not too bad with the domain up on his third appearance, right? All right, so round one done against the Goku and Frieza stage. Not terribly hard of a stage, of course, compared to some of the other stages that we've done here. Obviously, some of the newer stages are going to be where the major challenge lies, but obviously we're going to work our way up because I want to make sure, you know, all these events came back. We've been asking all year for these events to get here, and they're back, and so I do want to play through them because some of these I do enjoy, like this fight and the Omega fight, I actually do enjoy a lot. So speaking of Omega fight, that is our next one here. So let's pull up. Where's it at? Dude. Is it hiding? Where's Omega? There he is. Okay, so let's let's hop in. All right, and this time, This time I'm going to drop the Turles for the Golden Frieza. I think that's how we're going to do this. All right. Platinum, maybe part 2, but definitely not part 1 will be super related or 12th anniversary. Yeah, I can see that happening. I do know like one of the big running theories is a full Z Saga celebration, right? Namek, Cell Saga, and Boo Saga, which I could definitely see them doing. That honestly wouldn't be too bad. So again, we gotta... Oh, that's right. Oh, I forgot this stupid setup. I almost wonder if spending the domain here would be worth it to get out of this phase quicker. Plus getting the... Because doesn't he get... He does get extra key, right? For 1 turn from his entry turn, key 8. Starting from a second turn, HP based. Active skill. And again, yeah, okay, let's see how we do getting through this. But again, notice SDR cooler is in slot 7 once again. I don't know why he keeps doing this to us. That he seems to love to be in slot 7. This is going to be the whole hour of him just being in slot 7. Watch. Okay, we do tank early on. Nice. Okay. Really, really bad. That key minus 10 is stupid. One of the dumbest things they could have ever introduced. It is the... I don't want to say it's the worst mechanic. Locking still sucks. But, oh my goodness, how awful is... How awful is key minus 10? You know what? That's a great question for the chat. Chat, what is your most toxic mechanic? What do you believe the most toxic mechanic is in Dokkan Battle? For me, I think it's locking. I do think it's locking. But I'm curious. What do you guys think? What's the most toxic mechanic here? There we go. Okay, so honestly, that actually went pretty well, all things considered. All right, let's do that. Let's do that. And boom. Okay. Proton, hey, how you doing? Yeah, locking. Okay, you're kind of in agreement there. Kuro, hint on. Oh, have you seen a hint? Yeah, I did a video on that. I hope you had time to check it out. I did do a video on the hint. I'm pretty sure it's Daima, although it would be hilarious if my other theory is correct. Ribrianne. You've had to watch enemies dodge with that 10% dodge. You know what? That's fair. I think I did a run where Super Saiyan 3 Goku got like a full Cooler dodge. Like he dodged every single one of SDR Cooler's attacks. Platinum, you say ceiling. Oh, okay. I want to ask you about that. Why ceiling? I'm actually kind of curious here. Why ceiling? All right, so we're not even going to be able to get to his 18 key. God, this key minus... Oh, we just killed ourselves. Oh, that was stupid. I should have paid more attention to the orbs. That's my fault. Okay, but lesson learned. I think for this fight, the play is to bring... that was stupid. Yeah, okay, that was my fault for grabbing the wrong key. So I do think I'm going to drop Fizz Cooler, and we're going to bring a third domain here. And we're going to hop back in. So that was my bad. I totally grabbed the wrong key spheres there. But yeah, so I do think the mitigating factor here is actually popping Cellmax's domain turn 1 here. So that's what we're going to do to get through this key minus 10 phase faster, because the longer it takes, right, the more stats we lose. Hey, Proton, you remember the seasons of Battlefield where you'd go through all of the fights and then Omega at the end you could lock and then there'd be zero. Oh, yeah, bro, I remember that Omega fight. That was terrible. That was absolutely terrible, that Omega fight. There we go. Okay, so here's the super. Yeah, key minus 8 is some bull. Key minus 8 might be the dumbest thing ever. Or key minus 10, rather. It's 10, isn't it? Yeah, that might be one of the dumbest things ever. It actually might. Alrighty. So let's actually grab that. And then that. Okay, and I actually think we got a setup here. I actually think we got a setup that could work. Okay, never mind. We still suck for key, but at least SDR Cooler will get his 18 key, which is kind of what we need. We should tank this, right? Yes, we're good. I will say you do notice like a night and day difference between Tech Cooler on Cell's team and Tech Cooler on his own team, right? That extra support from the second Tech Metal Cooler it's insane. It's actually pretty huge. Okay, that's fair. Disrupting the stacking. I could see that. Okay, that's fair. But then I guess, I mean, stunning would be the same then, right? You would feel the same about stunning, I assume? Or are you talking about like passive sealing? There we go. Okay, we get the additional super out of Cooler. Boy, we really need these crits, man. We really need these crits. Like, you're killing us without these crits. Alright, we're going to get an additional super. Nope, that's not a super. Wow. This is true, Platinum. He can deal with the key, the negative key. No doubts there. There we go. Alright, we'll stall one more turn here. F-Fang, Cellmax Extreme, STR Broly, Fizz Janemba, and Janemba along with Tech Broly. That's your team for Cellmax? Nice. That's not bad. That's a pretty good team. I do find that Ant Janemba still works pretty well on the team. I tend not to put Garlic Jr. on the team, though, just because he does clash revives with the Fizz Cooler. Got it, Platinum. That's what I figured you meant. Alrighty, so let's actually grab the dodge here. Alright, and then we'll send off Frieza there. There we go. Okay, so we actually got a decent turn here, and we do dodge the super, so we're going to be pretty safe this turn. There we go. All right, and 62 million on the Cooler on his second appearance here. So he's about to get, if we can, I'm hoping we can get through the next turn quickly, because we're going to see some pretty big numbers for him on this one. Since we were able to stack more than one turn this time. Okay, I am not liking not hitting supers, my friend. Yes, we're not getting the additional stacks from them, but still, we need those supers. There we go. All right. There we go. All right, so yeah, we do kind of need to finish this turn, so we are gonna pop this Cellmax's domain first. So let's grab that. Okay, that doesn't help us. Okay, let's just take that for the 12 key at least, and then we'll grab that. And then hopefully we can get through this turn. Oh, I think Fist Cooler actually just died here. Yep. Crap. Okay, well, we forced the revive. Not what I wanted to do, though. Not what I wanted to do. But at least that sets us up for the final phase, I guess. I didn't want to put the thing is, I didn't want to put AGL Cellmax in slot 1 there, even though I'm sure he would have tanked, because I want to make sure that we had Metal Cooler and Turles for the domain turn. But now we're wasting now we're wasting this on this turn, which is not what I wanted. Okay, maybe we'll get lucky here and get all of the giant form procs and kill him here. Platinum, it's annoying when you have the giant form to cancel super, but then you get the passive ceiling. That would be very annoying. What fight does that, though? What fight is there that does the passive super, the passive ceiling right now, though? I can't think of any off the top of my head. Is it the Gohan fight? No, the Gohan fight has crit. All right, here we go. We got our second turn of giant form here. Like I said. No, actually, I don't think we're going to come very close to killing either. Even if we get all 5 giant forms. Let's see. Yeah, I feel like, Timothy, to be fair, I feel like if they had made it, like, so you can choose when to use the giant form, I think it would push them far beyond already being as one of the most broken TURs. Ah, dang. Yeah, we didn't kill here. All right, let's grab that. Let's send that off. And then let's grab that. Okay, so not ideal, but there we go. 93 million on the STR cooler. You love to see it. Now just crit. There we go. All right, so I guess, yeah, I mean, we're going to have to use the Fizz, or not the Fizz, the Tech Turles's domain to wrap up this fight, which isn't the worst thing in the world. It's still going to give a massive buff to the team regardless, so. But that's why I bring it, right? These longer fights like Omega and Super Saiyan 3 Goku, we actually do benefit quite a lot from having these domains. All right, so now. So let's pop Turles's here. Let's grab, let's use his active. Let's grab that. All right, and then we get Turles's 24 key. We use Golden Frieza's domain here, or not domain, his taunt. And here we go. It's going to be a perfect turn here. I lied. Holy crap, what the hell, Frieza? What did I miss? Ah, that's why. It was past turn 5. That's my bad. Okay, back to plan A. Sorry. Yeah, this bit's... I mean, I guess we could have switched into Gogeta. Yeah, you know what? Let's do that. Actually, no. I kind of want the support now. Yeah, let's just keep Fizz Cooler. Yeah, all right, let's run this.
Let's do this.
Okay, to be fair, yeah, that's my fault. I forgot we're past turn 5, so that's why we lost that. Okay. All right, so let's go with that, so we can set up the STR spheres for him. Perfect. Okay, we actually got a really, really good setup here for STR Cooler, so as long as he doesn't drop the ball with us. Like, legitimately, if LR STR Cooler could just get a bunch of crits this turn and next turn, we could be through this phase rather quickly. It's this phase that's killing us. There we go. Okay, let's keep it up, Cooler. If you want to hit all of those supers, that would help us out a lot. There we go. No, that's not it. No. Come on, man. No, come on. Dude, I have full crit on you. What is happening? There we go. All right, he fixed it. There we go. So I guess that's what I gotta do. I just gotta talk down to him a little bit, huh? Okay. Now, no, okay. Fizz Cooler, I actually do need you to super, like, once. Come on, man. There we go. There we go. We picked it up after 3 normals. Look at how much damage we lost, though, because of that. Alrighty, so... like I said, we do this like we did earlier. And what if we grab that? No. Okay, at least we'll get the 12 key here. Man, it should not be this hard. What's up, Angel? How you doing? Good to see you. Okay, we're going to get some extra key here for getting hit, as well as some extra offense. Is it going to be enough, though? Not really. Not pre-revive, at least. Excellent. Okay, we get one more. There we go. Okay, we might actually be able to do this. Ah, man, we missed the normal. Why did we miss the normal? I did not want to miss the normal. Okay, but 56 million, is that enough to drop this last bar? It is. Okay, so we're out of this horrendous phase. Jeez. Okay, and the best part is we actually have a decent setup here for this, for the metal cooler here. So let's go ahead and do that so we can heal up a little bit, right? So we can get Cellmax his buffs back. And then let's take the dodge here. As much as I would love to go for the support, that is going to be our best option. There we go. Okay, so solid rotation here. As long as nobody drops the ball, we should be able to drop his HP rather quickly. And if we play our cards right, there we go. If we play our cards right, there we go. That's not what I needed. I needed some more supers there, because I know SDR Cooler is going to drop the ball. Look at this. 100 mil on his second appearance, and this boy is going to be like, no, what's a crit? I don't need to do crits. Okay, there's one. Can you do a second? I don't think you can do a second. He's not going to do a second. Yo, let's go. Okay, he's turning it on. Or maybe not. No, see, as soon as I started praising him. See, there he goes again. Okay, yeah, it's Cooler, you suck. You can't crit for nothing. I gotta stop giving him so much praise. Whenever I praise him, he does crap. He does horribly. Okay, look at that. Okay, so we nearly dropped the STR phase in nearly a single turn. Look at that. Had Cooler not missed those crits, we actually would have killed him in a single turn. That's impressive. Okay, so we got the... this Selmax still got to do his domain, though. So... why don't we do this? Because I don't want to force the revive. I don't want to force the revive this turn. Because if I do that, right, then we're going to proc the Metal Cooler giant form in the STR phase, which I don't want. So... the Selmax should be able to handle this. Yes, perfect. 48 million. Still not bad. Still not bad. There we go. All right, so honestly, he's been doing pretty all right for just a domain merchant. Alrighty, so... let's see. Let's do that. Let's do that. And then we'll float off Turles. What the hell, Metal Cooler? Yeah, you really feel the difference without that second Metal Cooler around. All right, let's try this one more time. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. Okay, because on double Metal Cooler, he does tank that, by the way. On double Metal Cooler, he does tank that. I want to try something here. Alright, we'll grab that with STR Cooler. Not enough to get him the... oh, man, this sucks. Not being able to get his... not being able to attack is probably the worst thing about this phase. Should not be taking us this long to get through this fight, but he really does not like me. All right, one. Yeah, see, we needed that 18 key because we basically just lost a stack here, which means next turn he's not going to be hitting nearly as hard. And it's like this turn, like these two turns, most of all, are going to be the most important for getting out of this nightmare of a key minus 10. Alright, so I think, depending on the orbs here, we should be able to get through this turn pretty easily. So... No, I lied. Terrible orbs. Terrible orbs. It's crazy because of how heavily key reliant all of these guys are, too. That's the worst part. No crit. Okay, what about Final Form Cooler here? I bet if he could get some supers in, he might be able to drop for us a little bit, especially with that extra added bonus from that domain. There we go. One more? Yeah. Okay, it worked. It worked. It worked. It worked. Yes. Excellent. Okay, so now... Alright, now we can do this number. Put these two together. Grab that. Alright, now, I'm curious, do we die on the first appearance here? We do, which is fine. So now we have the revive up, and we have a powerful new slot 1 ally. Hooray! Will take all you can muster. What's up, Bagon? How you doing? With more strength than before. Put simply, you'll never defeat me. Alrighty, so same thing. I'm gonna pop the second domain here now. We could save it for the end, but I kind of think the strategy here that I'm trying with this team is just to keep the offense flowing. So let's grab that. Let's grab that. There we go. Perfect. No more key minus 10 shenanigans. Okay. Perfect. Okay, that worked out really nicely. And now our two coolers. I'm a little worried about STR Cooler because he didn't get his 18 key. I'm a little worried about him. There we go. Beautiful. 80 million on that. Not quite. It looks like it's not going to be quite enough to take down this phase, which is all right because then we can let STR Cooler get some hits in. No argument here, Platinum. Alrighty, perfect. Okay, so let's grab that. Let's grab that, and then we'll send off the Tacturlus here. Alright, now we should be able to tank this now that we're revived, right? Yes, much better. Much better. 100 mil, look at that. Beautiful. Bro, do not do this to me, Metal Cooler. Do not kill. I need STR Cooler to get a... STR Cooler did not stack a single time during this fight. Just so we're clear. All right, so we got the giant form now. This is actually gonna be really hard. This is actually gonna be much harder than I want it to be, because yeah, oh my goodness. And maybe we should have held that domain then. Maybe we should have held the domain. Okay, we get the second turn. Let's grab that. Let's take that. And boom. Okay. All right, so we got 2 turns so far of the giant form. I wonder if we can actually get any more. If we'll get the second turn. Or the third turn, rather. All right, we got the super. Excellent. Okay, so... Oh my goodness, we have not been getting that many turns of this. Okay. All right, so let's do that. All right, since we know we don't have to worry about any supers, let's just go ahead and take that. We'll grab that, and then boom, we get those nice, fresh AGL orbs for our Cellmax here. There we go. All right, so solid turn here. A little bit worried about that big super at the end of the next turn. We're not going to have any domain buff either, because the game decided to be... What's the word? Not give us any... Well, I guess it's my fault, though, potentially, for burning that other Cellmax domain. But in my defense, I thought we were going to clear the turn in one go. I vastly overestimated the offense there. And why won't anyone crit? Jesus. It's still not bad on the damage, though, without the domain. Do get the second super. And a third. Yeah, there we go. Alrighty. So, let's do that. Okay, not bad. Got some damage in there. Boom. Okay, so... Only thing is, I'm not sure if we can live this AoE super at the end. I think Fizz Cooler's good. If STR Cooler procs all of his supers, he might be good. But I don't know that anybody else... I don't know about Cellmax, so I guess we're going to find out. It'd be real nice if we could hit some crits. All right, no triple super. 44 mil. That is the first 18 key of the video, of the run here. That was his first 18 key. Feel like that means we're potentially in a dangerous situation here. Okay. All right, we do live the normals, which I expected, but this super here, I'm a little concerned about this super. There we go. We get the additional super. Obviously, we can see Cellmax's stats are now starting to drop off. We do get an additional normal. All right, moment of truth. Do we live the AoE? expected. Good God in heaven. STR Cooler. So that's something a lot of people don't talk about with STR Cooler is his defense. Is there anyone we can bring that could help us out a little bit more here? Not really, right? I think this is... Yeah. I mean, we switch back into Gogeta. That would give us a dodge in the final phase. However... So it doesn't help us out with the rest of it. Okay. What if... Yeah. We could try the Beerus variant and drop in Beerus, who can counter that super. Oh, well, it would be his regular super, not his. Yeah, no, we'll stick with this.
All right, let's do this.
Okay, so I think we may have to forego using the one of the domains early, at least. So looking at the setup here, this may be what we want to go for, something like this, right? And this would allow, there we go, him to get the 18 key, which would allow him to do some big damage here. So maybe this is the trick. So if we're going to use STR Cooler, we have to make sure Tech Metal Cooler procs his giant form on the turn that he's on that AoE. So if we can try to time it, we can float Metal Cooler to show up on that turn. But I don't know, that might be kind of hard to pull off. There we go. Okay, we do end up getting a 12 key. All right, this is nice. All right, this is actually working out pretty nicely. Okay, and then now 57 mil on that 18 key there. We do get the additional super. Excellent. There we go. Okay, so how are the orbs looking here? Not great. Not great at all. But what if we do that number? And then do that. Okay. Alright, alright. Can Turles tank, though? That's the question. Can he tank this super? He does. Excellent. Okay, so this actually worked out. Now, if the two coolers can do their job and just hit a bunch of supers for us, we're actually going to be in a really good space. Alrighty. Okay, we get that 18 key on cooler. At least we actually got it on turn 1 this time, and not the final phase. I think that's what hurt us more than anything, was not getting his 18 key until that final phase. Like, we really needed that to start getting those stacks rolling in. Excellent. Okay. Wow. Okay, he actually popped off all of his supers. And now it's up to... Okay, so we won't kill this turn, but we should be... assuming we can get some decent key with the next rotation, we actually will kill him there. Which means we won't have to waste the... active skill. So using it early didn't work, so now we're going to try saving it. What's up, Bringer? How you doing, man? Welcome to the live stream here. We are testing out Cellmax's team here, if you hadn't noticed already. Alrighty. Let's see here. So what if we do this number? Grab that, because this way when he supers, he'll heal in case we don't kill on the next turn. Or in case we don't kill with the Fizz Cooler, at least the Tech one can heal on his supers for us. Oh, with the hit, that is enough to get us to an attack to get a super. So never mind. Excellent. Okay. Oh wow, what are the chances of that happening? Alright, so let's grab this with Turles. We're going to keep Turles on here. Let's grab this with you. And then we'll use one Cellmax domain. And then we have the other one coming in on and the next rotation. So this actually should work out pretty nicely. Though our key does suck, so... There we go. Perfect. All right, so we get the 50 mil on the Turles here. Hopefully we get some decent supers off of STR Cooler. The more build he gets, the easier it's going to get be to get through the next rotation. There we go, 100 mil. Gotta love to watch him being able to do that on his second appearance. There we go, and we actually crit. And we actually crit. How nice. There we go. All right, not bad at all. Oh man, okay. So we actually could have soloed this turn. Oh, there's the super. We actually could have soloed this turn if we had gotten some more supers out of Cooler. Let's see how much Cellmax does. 89 mil, not bad. Is that gonna be enough to take him down? Oh wow, it actually was. It actually was. Wow. I can't believe that. Okay, so let's do that number. Like, can anyone revive? Oh, anyone can revive, huh? I love how they changed that part of his passive, that anyone can revive. When the character is KO'd or when an ally is KO'd. That is so awesome that it doesn't have to be just him who revives. It is so amazing. Okay, let's do that. And so we're going to force the revive here on this Cooler. Of course he dodges. Of course he dodges. We're trying to force the revive and he dodges. That is, of course, what would happen. Frick. Okay, that puts me in a position I don't really want to be in on the next one. Alright. Okay, we get the dodge. Fizz, Metal Cooler, 90 million, and he hasn't revived yet, mind you. I love how we tried to force the revive and he dodges. Alrighty. Okay, so Fizz Final Form Cooler dropping 57 millions. Not actually, we might actually do quite a bit of damage here. Well, okay. Not if we don't crit. Not if we don't crit. Kind of need those crits. Like, kind of like really bad. Need those crits. All right, so now we have the second cell max. So let's pop his domain here. Okay, definitely a little bit weaker this turn. Okay, if we lose this one, we're going to move on to Super Saiyan 3, and we might come back to this one. All right, so I guess we'll grab that. Let's use his actives since we have the higher attack bonus here. There we go. Yeah, this really does put me in a position I don't want to be in. Oof. Okay, he should be able to live the normals though, right? Yes. Okay, so no worries on the normals there. Would have been nice to get his 18 key or his 24 key though to get that extra damage. Okay, we do get a crit though. Okay, and we just gotta kind of pray that... I don't know. There we go, 104 million, love it. I do need you to not explode from this super though. That might be asking a lot. There we go. Another 12 key is good, and it is a crit. Oh, come on, man! Each one of those missed supers is less defense that we do oh so very much need. Frick. All right. Does Turles live without his domain? 800. Oh my goodness. We almost lived that. Okay, so like I said, we're just so we don't keep spending the whole thing on this fight. So we'll come back to Omega, but let's move on to Super Saiyan 3 Goku. We'll come back to the Omega fight. So let's do Super Saiyan 3 Goku here. Similar setup. Still want to run the same setup here. Actually, but we will swap out Cooler this time for Golden Frieza. Because I do think that will help us out here a lot. His attack lowering will help a little bit. Okay, so decent starting setup. Really, man, maybe just the fight that counters Cell Max's team specifically, because Double Cooler has no problem with the team at all. But I think the problem is without Double Cooler, your Tech Cooler can't really slot one it, and you have no extra protection for your STR Cooler. So yeah, crazy business, huh? Alrighty. So Metal Cooler just decided to do that. Okay. There we go. All right, so I do think the trick, though, so coming back and kind of stepping away from the fight, I do think the trick to making sure that you are safe in that fight is to ensure that it is Metal Cooler and his giant form on the same turn as STR Cooler on the turn that AoE is going to happen, or Turles for that matter as well, right? Because as we saw, Turles took 800k. nice. And then 57 on the cell max here. Perfect. Alrighty. Let's see here. I guess we do that. Float the Turles, I guess? Yeah, let's do that. So I'm thinking here, right, we pop one domain during the Ent phase, and then we save Turles and Cooler's domain for the other phases. For the Super Saiyan 3 Goku phase. Although I don't imagine we'll have too much trouble there. Very nice. All right, so perfect. This is going to set us up exactly how I want to be set up here. All right, double 12 key, so double attack lowering there. And then now we should have enough that we can drop Cooler in slot 1 to get another attack stack. So that's actually what I wanted to go, is make sure that we get a few attack stacks on Cooler, because he's going to be instrumental in ensuring that we take down the final phase with relative ease. Beautiful. I don't want to say that, Platinum, but you definitely feel the difference between having two of him on rotation. Or on your team, rather. Okay, so let's do that. Let's do that. And we'll pop this domain. Perfect. All right, 79 mile with no big bad bosses. Not bad. All right, so let's see. How do we take a Goku Super? Very good. All right, now we're going to get the triple attack lower here, hopefully with the Golden Frieza. There's one. There's two. Okay, never mind. I lied. No triple attack lower. And then 84 mil on the second cell. Again, same thing. No big bad bosses active. That's actually kind of crazy. Alrighty, so let's do that. Alrighty, and so I'm going to float the Cooler, right? Because I do think that's the play. Floating Cooler, I think. Well, because we're going to... No, yeah, okay. This is fine. So let's grab that. Because we're going to come into the next rotation. Yeah, okay, this is fine. All right, because we should kill here. There we go. We've got quite a bit of attack lowering, so we should be okay. Oh. Of course not. Of course not. And of course we couldn't get the other... okay.
All right, let's do this.
Yeah. I stand by what I said. You truly do feel the difference having 2 metal coolers versus 1. Because on the double lead, he doesn't die to that super. Especially after he's been attack lowered to hell and back. All right, Fizz Metal Cooler is actually pretty good for this fight because he's got the, he's got the counter at the end, which is very helpful. There we go. We get the 12 key. There we go. All right, now let's try to get some decent supers here. All right, we do get the second. Now let's keep it up and let's just get all of them. Let's get fully built up here. That's not all the supers. That's a normal. There we go. All right, 57 mil on the turn with Cell Max, no domain. All right, let's see here. Let's grab that. Let's grab that. Perfect. Okay. So hopefully this takes down the phase here. Actually, looks like it might not. Judging by the judging by the damage that Metal Cooler did, Golden Freeze is not going to do anything. Cell Max is going to do about 50, well, maybe a little less, maybe closer to 49 million without Big Bad Bosses active, so. There we go. We get another super. Excellent. Okay. So this might work. There we go. 46 million. Yep, I was close. 46 million. No crit. All right, so I do think we have enough defense that I think we can get away with putting him in slot 1. So let's do that, and then just let him get his build. I worry about putting Fizz Metal Cooler in slot 1 just because I don't want him to get the kill if he happens to do a triple crit. Do need STR Cooler to get his supers off, so that's why we're doing that. Excellent. There we go. See, that's how it should be. Alrighty, so now let's pop the Cell Max domain. There we go. Let's take that. Let's give him his buff. Let's do that. And then let's use the Golden Frieza active here. So we could do some good so we could do some decent damage. So, because what I'm thinking here is that combined with the passive attack lowering from the tech orbs, we should be able to tank the super. Yes, we do. So now not only will some X hit back, Golden Frieza, the coolers. Yeah, we're gonna do some good damage here. There we go. Okay. Excellent. Look at that. This is exactly what we want to set up here. We get 63 million. All right, remember, we still got a couple more of these in the tank, too. Yeah, okay. Okay, this is working nicely. There we go. Okay, so question is, can Golden Frieza, with his active skill turn, buffed by Cellmax's domain, can he take down 2 bars of an int-type enemy? With 170 million, I think it's gonna depend on... Yeah, I was just gonna say, it's gonna depend on whether or not we crit. Of course we crit on the 12 key, and we do not... Okay, so we don't kill here. That is unfortunate. Because what does that mean? That means we gotta let Metal Cooler kill here. So I don't think he can live a super, can he? Let's try it. Let's try it. I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna risk it. We've done a bunch of attack lowering, right? I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna risk it. Nope. Well, at least we revived. So we got the revive. Yeah, I mean that was basically what was going to happen, right? We do that, we get the revive, and then yeah. We kind of expected that to happen.
With more strength than before. Put simply, you'll never defeat me.
But if it didn't, we could have seen now. But now we waste the giant. Now we waste the giant form. That is what I didn't want. That is what I didn't want. Because the giant form is going to kill this phase, and now we have no protection mechanic against the super in the next phase. All right. And then the second giant form attack is going to kill. Beautiful. All right. Yeah. Waste. Okay. So I guess we go ahead and we set up the next domain turn. So I'm gonna go with the dodge for cooler. Yeah, let's do that. Of course it's not enough. Of course it wouldn't be enough. It should not be this hard. Okay. Of course, we don't dodge the super, right? Okay, but we do tank it, thankfully. Platinum, you feel that Daima Super Saiyan 4 Goku isn't as fun to use? Why is that? Is it because of his ZX Super? All right, and no 24 key for Turles, so no extra offense boost. This is just a really crappy turn. This is a really crappy turn. Oh my goodness. Yeah, seriously. All right, well, at least we get the key to get the 18 key for Cell Max, which is helpful. All right, nice. And now, so we know this turn there are 2 supers. All right, and we know one is going to be in slot 1 and the other is going to be in slot 2. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to pop the Gogeta. Right, we're going to do that. So that way we get the added defense. We're going to pop Metal Coolers active. There we go. Right, because he will counter the super, and then we'll float STR Cooler. God damn it. A crit. Seriously, man. How hard is a crit? You have 30 plus crit. How could you possibly be missing crits? All right, so theoretically, if SDR Cooler doesn't shit the bed in the final in the final slot there, this rotation will kill. Between the Fizz Metal Cooler with the domain buff, the Gogeta with the multiple attacks in slot 1, there is legitimately no reason we shouldn't kill here. Okay, nice. Okay, that could happen. There you go. Who said 10% dodge on a boss was the worst mechanic? Who said that? There you go. Whoever said 10% dodge on that. Whoever said 10% dodge, there you go. Just ruined our whole plan. Oh my, and he dodged Cooler's 18 key. This game is out to get us on this stream. Where's my mods at? They know this is stream RNG to the max. There is no way this is happening. What the hell just happened? That is absolutely insane. You couldn't at least dodge that, and then now we lose. If that's a crit, we lose. Okay, at least it wasn't a crit. Can we please get a super? This is insane. I have never seen this level of RNG. What the hell just happened? Literally, he'd be dead right now. Literally, he would have been dead. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and he dies to a crit normal. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. There is no way that that just happened. Okay, let's try to take it a little slower this time. Let's not use any domains until the final phase. Let's try that. Oh my goodness. Okay, while these attacks run through, I'm gonna grab a glass of water because Jesus. That might be the single worst RNG turn we've ever had. I've never seen anything like that. Every important hit he dodged. With a 10% chance, mind you. All right. So let's try this number. We're gonna stick Golden Frieza in front. We're gonna stick him here. And then we'll send off STR. I'm gonna send off STR Cooler to get him on rotation with the tech metal cooler. Timothy, if they have a boss with dodge and a large HP recovery, I might actually lose my mind. After witnessing what we just witnessed, I might actually lose my mind. Excellent. Okay, we get another one. Okay, seriously, like, I did not want to be spending this much time in this one. I was hoping this would have been one and done and we can move on to God Goku. Because we still got to get through God Goku and Triku and Cell Max. Alrighty, so let's do that number. We'll keep this one on. Let's do that. Okay, so it should be good here. Like I said, for this one, we will avoid 57 million ice. Okay, so we're going to avoid domains until that final turn. That's what we're going to do. I think that's the trick here. All right, so he's down now. Let's float the Turles. Let's put Fizz Cooler here. Grab that. And is that actually enough? Of course it's not enough to get. Of course it's not enough to get the 24 key. All right. Fizz Cooler, does not tank it, so we forced the revive, which I guess is good, but at the same time also not as good. Because it brings us one turn closer to the Tech Cooler Army's giant form, which we don't want. We need to make sure that that occurs in the final phase. Alrighty, so let's do that. Let's grab that. And there we go. Okay, so decent turn here. Hopefully we don't miss any important dodges. Of course, having, if we could have gotten a tech orb, that would have been better for the tech cooler. But, I mean, as long as we dodge, I guess that's fine too. Or hit a super. You know, I feel like I'm not asking a whole lot there. There we go. We are getting the dodges, though. That's nice. Oh, that means the super is going to be on cooler. Well, we might actually be able to live this, assuming we get a bunch of the attack lowers, and we are not critting yet again. Man, I have never had such bad luck with a team. I do not like Cellmax's team. I do not like it whatsoever. Okay, another super, which means another attack lower. Puts us in a much safer position to tank this super that I know is coming our way. There it is. Alright, did we attack lower enough? That is the question. We did. Alright, and 59 million on the Cellmax. Alrighty. Okay, so now alright, this is not ideal. Let's do that. We want to save those actives for the next turn. So hopefully we kill here. I think we will. With Gogeta and the Metal Cooler plus the Cellmax. Maybe we should have popped the Cellmax domain. In hindsight. In hindsight, maybe we should have used the first max domain. There we go. Okay. Alright, 76 minutes. Yeah, we should have popped the Cellmax domain. Because now we're entering... Yeah, now we're about to use up the giant form. Unless that's a normal. Never mind. Forget my unless. Yeah, we should have used the domain. We should have used the domain. Dang it. Oh, come on. What is going on with my additional normals today? We are just not doing supers. And yeah, now we wasted the domain, the giant form. We should have used the domain. Alright, because now the giant form's going to kill and it's going to... Is exactly like what happened last time. Giant form kills, drives us into the next phase. It's completely wasted. Alright, so with that said... I guess... See, I don't like this. I want... I guess we take those. We'll grab that with cooler. And we'll grab that. I don't want to use the domain just yet. Because I mean, this is for Cellmax, right? So we'll wait. So there goes the super. We do get the dodge, thankfully. All right, so this is going to be a safe turn now. We got a safe turn, so we're good here. Crit, please. Crit. I feel like I'm not asking a whole lot here for a crit. All right, let's watch Mr. 35 crit here do exactly 0. let's watch 35 crit here do exactly 0. Yep, there. See, there we go. No crit. We're going to do another no crit. Oh, no, he actually did crit on this one. Okay, and we do get the additional super. It is a crit. Additional super. It's not a crit. Normal. But that... another normal. So we did 3 supers out of his total possible, and then he did... what? Jeez. Just can't win here, can we? Just can't win. All right. So, we were able to save the domain, which is what I wanted, but of course... we have no good key for the Golden Frieza and Gogeta. So we might have to do this number. Let's try it. Okay. Let's see if he can live. He lives if it's not a crit, by the way. He does live if it's not a crit. I know that. There's a little bit of support lying around, so we might be able to pull it off. Let's see what happens here. Okay. Especially if we get a bunch of attacks off first. It is past the turn 5, though, so no go... well, I mean, we have type advantage. Oh, we get the dodge. Yeah, okay, there we go. All right, 3 dodge coming in clutch. Okay. There we go. Okay, we might actually pull this off. We might actually pull this off. There we go. Yeah, with all those extra builds up, we might actually pull this off. See, it would have been really nice here to have not revived yet, because in case we don't pull this off right now, we could have revived. But let's see, do we... oh, we do tank. Yes, we did get enough to tank. And 170 mil. Nice, good job. Yeah, okay, so I guess that was the play, saving it. Or maybe we just got insanely lucky. Alrighty. Okay, watch this, watch this, watch this. Okay, so we are going to take the dodge orbs. Okay, now watch. Watch this. Okay. How much crit do I have on this guy again? 29 crit. We have 29 crit. Watch this. Oh, he actually did it. I was about to laugh at him for not doing a crit, but no, he did it. Okay, hooray. Okay, because if he didn't crit, he wouldn't have killed there, and we'd have been in big trouble. But he did. All right, good job, Cooler. Golf clap. All right. Okay, we can move on. Woo! Okay, that took way more effort than I wanted it to, but we got it done. So, all right, Super Saiyan 3 Goku down, onwards and upwards. It's time for the God Goku fight. Now, for this fight, I do feel like we can actually, we can actually do the domains like right away. So I'm gonna try this team here with with Beerus, because Beerus can actually do pretty good in this fight. So let's do it.
All right, let's do this.
As you can see, I did run this already, testing out Beerus. And the second you load in, it's on a cooler kill. That's funny. All right, so this will be tricky though, because yeah, we're gonna have to float. Yeah, we're gonna have to float Metal Cooler. I don't like that. Okay, hopefully. Why did I bring a dodge unit? Should have just put Cooler in slot 1. Okay, let's try that one more time.
All right.
Should have just put Cooler in slot 1, but I wanted to get him over there on the other rotation. But all right. Okay, actually, this might work. This might work. Because we have our Beerus and Whis together, which is what I wanted. Because now we can do this number. And Beerus will counter these supers right here in slot 1, so we don't have to worry about that. Perfect. Okay, so good first turn. We get the counter. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful. Double counter. All right, so the goal is to set up an active skill turn with Selmax's domain and Beerus's active skill. That's the goal. It does feel like we might actually kill a bit too quickly, though. Have to see how this next rotation plays out. Actually, no. This might work, especially with having Garlic Jr. on turn 2. We float the other cell. Oh, actually, I was gonna say we float this cell max. Right? We float the cell max. But can we live this? Can we live in slot 1? Not with both supers. We can't float the Garlic Jr. We need the Garlic Jr. here because he needs to show up on. Then he needs to have the revive ready for the next rotation. So what? We float Cooler then? It's gonna suck. Yeah, we can't put Cooler slot 1, but we can't put. Yeah, I guess this is what we got to do. All right, sorry, Cooler. This is our win condition, so you gotta go, man. Oof, yeah. With Cell Max taking that much from the super, yeah, I can't imagine how much the rest of them would take. If we're no, we're definitely gonna kill here with Cooler. Anikit, despite Beerus having prodigies, he's not on Gifted Warriors. Huh, that is strange. What's the name for Gifted Warriors on JP? Maybe it has something more to do with that. Okay, so we might drop him. Yeah, oh yeah, we're definitely going to drop him with Cooler. Does not put us in a favorable position, though. All right, excellent. So turn 2, drop, and then now we enter turn 3 in a not so great position. So let's do this. Okay, and then we'll float the metal cooler here. Does he support? Wait, is it? If we get the STR, oh, it is only for extreme class. So then we may as well take the guaranteed supers because these guys aren't extreme. Okay, I think Beerus can live this. Lies. Foul lies. On the active skill turn, I think he can. Okay. All right, so we need Garlic Jr. to start, because when does he start? He start, actually, I think this still works with him here. We just float him, and I think that'll do the trick. We might have to hold back a little to make this work. And our Beerus is in slot. Oof. Okay, so let's take the dodge then. Let's grab that. And we'll send off Garlic Jr. Yeah, okay. All right, this works. Yeah, because Beerus is in slot 7, so he'll come in on the next turn. And then we'll float him, and then have him ready and built up on that final on that active skill turn. Yeah, this will work. We might want to hold back on the next turn though, just to let just to get the float happening on a good turn. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so we float Beerus and Whis. We put Selmax in slot 1 here. Perfect. All right, and there goes the super, but we already know that he should live this, so... Yep, there we go. Double super. Okay, what is with him being double super slot 1? I've never seen that this often. It's been 2 runs in a row. 2 turns in a row, for that matter. Alrighty, excellent. It happens a lot. Especially with this team. This team can very easily fly through a phase bringer. It does happen a lot trying to plan and killing the first phase too early. But here we go. Looks like we got the setup we need here. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful. All right, and Beerus and Whis is going to wrap it up. So that means with Beerus countering on the next rotation and potentially Selmax doing what Selmax do, we should be able to kill on the next rotation, which will set us up for a great turn with the next one. Perfect. Yeah. Excellent. Oh, they actually tanked. Timothy, the whole stream has been a bunch of things you've rarely seen. Yeah, man, welcome. I mean, I'm not sure if this is the first time you've been in a stream of ours, but I tend to have some of the craziest RNG you could imagine. Ask any of the regulars; they will tell you that we tend to get some of the craziest luck. Here we go. All right, my only concern is getting Beerus fully built up. I don't know if we can. There we go. We get the counter. All right, and now we should have, yes, we do have the domain. We do have the revive proc here. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to use the Cell Max's domain, right? So we can get some good damage off. Okay, how's Cooler's defense looking, though? That's my question. How's Cooler's defense looking? 8 million. All right, let's do that, and then send off the Garlic Jr. here. All right. I'm pretty sure he dies to the crit super, especially because we have type disadvantage here. Oh wait, we have guard though. Does he have guard? I gotta double check. Either way, I'm fairly certain he dies here. Yep, there we go. Yep, with the double super there, he dies. I know Cooler died. Either way, we were gonna lose here. Okay, so there goes the revive. Perfect. So Garlic Jr. gets his revive. And now we can set up our turn. Perfect. Beautiful. Look at that. We don't have... I mean, look at that. He's not going to do that much damage now. Because all of the attacks are stacked in that slot. That's a shame. All right, Platinum, take it easy. Glad you were able to come and join us. Oh, we still did 100 mil, though. Of course you dodged. All right, well, we'll see you later there, Platinum. I'm glad you were able to come and check it out with us. There is no freaking way. There is no freaking way. Okay. I'm pretty sure we live on this active skill turn, though. I lied. Holy crap. That is crazy. 'Cause I've had him live before. How did he live? What did we do differently? All right, well, let's switch it back up. Let's go to our Cooler team here. All right, so let's do that, and then where's our Metal Cooler? There it is. All right, let's try this team out.
All right, let's do this.
Alrighty. Let's see. Let's grab that. Let's grab that with Cooler. And let's try that. Oh, I should have taken off Garlic Jr. I didn't want the double revive there. That's actually going to cause problems. But who knows? Maybe we'll still be able to make this work. There it is. All right, so we get the super. SDR Cooler is going to jump in and do his thing. Oof, that is a terrible attack stat. Nice. Okay, we actually got 3 supers there. And as soon as I said it, we started getting normals. I was just like, oh, I'm all impressed. Okay, but we did pick it back up. And then there goes another normal. So I gotta stop saying stuff. There goes another one. Okay, so all right. Honestly, all things considered, pretty good turn for Cooler. Honestly, if we can get one more turn here in this phase, I think we'll be really good. But let's see how this plays out. The next turn kind of worries me a little bit. Excellent. All right, let's grab that so we get the dodge. Take that, and then boom. Okay, excellent. Good turn. Excellent. Okay, we ended up dodging both supers, getting that build up going. Perfect. All right, so now we put. Well, let's see. How's this next rotation looking? Yeah, okay. So we put STR Cooler in front. Let him get his attacks off. With all the attack lowering we're doing, he should be able to hang. Yeah, we let them do their thing, and then let Cooler attack, and we should be good. There we go. Additional normal on the Garlic Jr. All right, he did tank. Very nice. All right, let's grab that. That, and let's send off the Cell Max there. Perfect. Very nice. So risk paid off. No super slot 1. We were able to get in the attack. And as long as Cooler doesn't drop the ball, he will finish things off and get us prepped up for the next turn. Perfect. All right, now here's where things are going to get tricky, because we did finish a little early, which means we can't tag into Gogeta. So what do? We take the dodge, I guess. So we know Cell Max takes 500k here, which a double super will kill us, but we don't know where that super is. We could pop the domain here, but then that puts us in a sticky situation for the next turn. So like we really don't have a good choice here. I think we're just gonna do this. We have that other. Yeah. Okay. I think that's the play here, because we're gonna die next turn with the. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's do that. Okay. I think this is the play. Because Frieza still has his guard, because it's only turn 4. So this might actually be the play. And looks like we were correct. It was the play. Excellent. All right, so then we get the supers. And like I said, we are going to die next turn with the Fizz Metal Cooler, which is perfect. It's what we want. Excellent. We get a super. Nope, that's normal. Super. Yeah, there we go. All right, perfect. So we are in a good position here. And there goes the second super. So we've taken a lot of extra hits here, so I think we might still be okay. Oh yeah, perfect. We do take that second critical hit a lot better. Not bad, 105. So that actually could have been really good if we did pop the domain, but I didn't want to waste the domain since we're going to revive next turn anyways. Perfect. Way too many hits there. So yeah, see, and as you can see, with everything that's happening right there, I didn't want to just waste that domain, because nobody's gonna get to attack here. Yeah, because Cooler's gonna die. So this is definitely why we did what we did. Perfect, and then there goes the revive. All right, and of course now we're reviving into our...
Even then, I'll only be resurrected with more strength than before. Put simply, you'll never defeat me.
Yeah, so we revive into our giant form turn, so now this turn we can proc the domain very safely with our Cell Max and set up the next turn very, very well. Perfect. This worked out. Now the question is this going to be like every other turn we've had, or are we actually going to be able to take down more than one or more than 2 turns with the giant form? We would have had Gogeta next appearance. Yes, that's correct. But in order to safely get through that turn, Bringer, we needed to make sure that we needed to use we needed to make sure we use that setup. We had to use his active skill there. That's the word I was thinking of. Okay, so give us a decent setup here. All right, let's take that. Let's grab that. Let's grab that. Alrighty, so moment of truth after this turn. Will we get the secondary turn, or are we stopping after 2 turns? Oh, he dodged. What a bum. There we go, 25 mil. All right, the next turn is going to be really good. If we get it. Hey, we finally got a 3rd turn. It's only taken the entire stream, but hey. We did it. Let's grab that. Perfect. 37 million. All right. Yeah, see, there we go. If we actually end up proccing more turns, we're actually going to... You can see the damage starting to ramp up against the Goku. This is actually going to help us a lot. Let's see here. There we go, 37 mil. Okay, now, can we get a 4th turn? Can we push a 4th turn? No. Ah. I figured that would have been too lucky, huh? Okay, so let's take a look at the setup here. 800, they're about the same. Okay, so let's go ahead and proc that one. All right. Oh, we might actually kill this turn. We might actually kill. Oh, wow. Jeez. Terrible key here. All right, let's grab that. We'll take that one with him. And then there we go. At least the one that's floating is getting the key. There we go. All right, so 70 mil we've lost, right? Because we've lost a couple of turns here with them. But still, honestly, not that bad. All right, obviously with Goku having his damage reduction up, we're not going to be hitting it as hard as we could. Very good. All right, 69 million on the metal cooler. There we go, 74 million on the second. On the third, 80 mil. Okay, we might not even make it back to SDR cooler. We are not. Okay, so we do actually get through it. Significantly easier. Which is funny because that Beerus run that we had tried earlier, when I had did it on my own before stream, literally one go, we pulled it off. And Beerus actually tanked. I'm not sure what we did differently. All right, so there we go. Next round done. So all that's left is to wrap up with the Triku fight. So let's go ahead. Let's hop on into that fight here. Here it is. So this one I found to be a tad bit tricky with this team because of the way it works. But we do want to go for anyone that can help us attack lower is going to be helpful. So let's actually look here at the movie bosses category. And let's see if there are any additional attack lowers that we could bring. Obviously, metal cooler's passive attack lowering is going to be very helpful. Oh, AGL Golden Frieza could be helpful. I think we'll stick with this team, though. I think we'll just stick with the team we've been running and see how that goes. There we go. All right, so let's do that. Okay, so yeah. Perfect. And then that. And then let's send him off here. All right, so the best thing we can do actually is get through the second phase. Yeah. Wait, where's our tech metal cooler? He's in slot 7. Oh, that's not good. That could actually do more harm than good. Let's see how this plays out. Because we could potentially still get through this depending on how this plays out. Oh, and there goes the second super. But we're good. All right, 57 mil on the domain. Yeah, so the trick is going to be to attack lower the second phase as much as we possibly can to put ourselves in a safe position. I think it's going to come down to how this plays out, though. think Turles can handle the super in slot 1 there. There we go. All right, I think we're good. I think this will work. Oh, wow. He actually didn't super slot 0. I don't think I've ever seen him not. Oh, he's sealed. That's why. That's right. I forgot Selmax seals. Okay, perfect. Yes. Okay, this will actually work out for us. Oh, we should have put a Golden Frieza in front then. There we go. All right, additional super. All right, more attack lowering. Not that it matters for this phase. Very nice. All right, and we're going to get another one. Alrighty. So let's grab that. I'll take that with STR cooler. And we'll send off the... There we go. So we'll send off him... Oh, wow. Okay, I did not expect that to do that much damage. All right, well, either way, we get our revive off, so that means we're in a good position for the next turn in the Triku phase, because now we already have his revive up, which means we can tank, and he will actually nullify the super. As long as we can get STR Cooler to attack first, before the Triku super, we'll actually be in a good place. All right, so let's see here. All right, who can tank here? Okay, let's do that number. Let's grab that. That. And boom. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, I did not think that would kill him. I've actually never had to use that on turn 3 with him before. Okay, so I think that one was more just we had a really bad start. Okay, let's exit out here. Hang on. Let's see. Yeah, I want to keep the same team. So, all right, double Cell Max and Cooler. Okay, yeah, this works. Yeah, this team will work. Okay, so let's do you there, and you there. Perfect. All right, so basically what we need is to make sure we don't come back into the third turn in the end phase. That's how we get through this. I think that's how I did it before, is making sure not to have a third turn there. That's where it's tricky. Perfect. And now with that seal, or at the very least making sure he stays sealed, but we keep getting both of our cell maxes on a single turn, which doesn't help. There we go. Alrighty. Now we just make sure the next turn is good. There we go. Double super. Can we get a third? That would actually really help us out if you give us a third. Alright. Let's go with the dodge here. That does give us enough here. Perfect. All right. Will we be? I don't think we'll be able to kill here. Which means we have to contend with a... There we go. Come on, we need these supers. This is just not gonna happen today, I guess. All right. Yeah, we keep getting really, really bad starting setups where all of our attackers are thrown into turn 1, and it makes our turn 2 really weak. Right? And look, now all the attacks are here. Can he survive? I am curious. Maybe he can. Who's coming on? Alright, what if we do this? Can he survive? Okay, he can live the normals, but what about the super? Nope, which means we waste our revive again. Okay, this is potentially going to be very frustrating.
Besting me will take all you can muster. Even then, I'll only be resurrected with more strength than before. Put simply, you'll never defeat me.
Okay, so... let's do... this number. So we'll use this revive. Or this active, right? Right. We use this active. We get through this turn. There we go. As long as Tech Metal Cooler dodges. There we go. Perfect. Okay, and now... oh, double super slot 1. That was scary, but we did get through it. Beautiful. All right. Not the ideal setup I want, but I think it'll work. Let's do this. Grab that. Grab that. And then we should be able to send him off, dealing enough damage. So he should be fine here. There goes the super. We have type advantage. We have the domain up. All right, we do counter it with with Fizz Metal Cooler. And there we go. Okay, so that did work out. That was kind of what I was hoping would happen. There we go. 80 million on the cell max. Now the crappy thing is, maybe we shouldn't have used that domain. The crappy thing is now for the STR cooler turn next turn, we're not gonna have a domain active, but we gotta do what we gotta do, you know. Alrighty. Perfect. We get an additional super. Nope, that's a normal. Just when I got my hopes up. Okay. All right, 130 million. Nice. Okay, so good setup here, and we get the attack lowering, which is really going to help us out on the next turn, especially after the giant form turn. There we go. We get an additional super. Nope, that's normal. Okay, so now we do that. We roll in. We get the giant form. Perfect. I think that's our win condition. I think that's our win condition. All right, let's grab that. Right. So the more the more hits we get in on our giant form turn, the more likely it is we're going to win here. Especially through this turn, right? Because we can buff both of them up with the active skill, and I think we'll be able to, if we don't kill here, we will definitely wrap it up with Selmax's domain and active on the next turn. All right, there goes the super against each of the giant forms, so no damage, thankfully. Beautiful. All right, so I want to try to set it up so we can get tech orbs. So if I see any tech orbs, I'm just going to leave them on the field because those tech orbs are going to lower Goku's attack, which will in turn help us deal with the AoE in the next phase, where we're not going to have any giant form protection should we not kill this turn. But I mean, if we can ramp up to a third or a fourth turn here, we might be able to just kill this turn. All right, because we got through our guaranteed second turn at least. All right, we are getting additional supers. We are getting a lot of additional supers with our extra with our extra attacks here with our Tech Metal Cooler, which is funny because every time I try to run him in FOB, I can never get him to do an additional. Ugh, we only did 2. Dang. Okay. All right, so let's pop that. All right, and we used this one's domain already. So let's do that. Let's grab that. Okay, perfect. Okay, so this should be a solid turn. Right, remember those tech orbs are dropping in by 40%, so that's very helpful. Are we fully built up with the metal cooler? I think so. I think he is fully built up. Okay, so we may not kill this turn, actually. I think it's going to depend on how... No, I think even if we got full crit attacks with STR Cooler, this wouldn't do the trick. So we are going to have to need... We are going to need to survive the next turn. Yeah, 15 million. Even with a full set of 5 crits, this is not going to kill. Yeah, not even close. But we do have the active skill for Selmax next turn to set up another domain. So depending on the rotations, we could potentially get one more. There we go. All right, now how much is Selmax going to do? 47 million. Yeah, he's starting to get down there on the offense and defense. We got 2 bars of health left. Not bad. Okay. We might be able to do this. Very nice. Okay. So I think we want Turles to attack first. maybe Fizz Metal Cooler we want to attack first, right? But Turles would gain the extra defense, because I know Cooler can tank. Yeah. I just wish we had better setup. I do think, yeah, I think he needs to attack first. There we go. Okay, so that worked out. So, yeah, I do think Turles needs to attack first, because that's going to give us... There we go. So on the off chance we don't kill... Actually, I mean, maybe Metal Cooler could have killed, but if he didn't, I didn't want to have Turles to eat the... There we go. Yeah, I didn't want to have Turles eat the AoE super. Oh, which he doesn't. Okay, yeah, so I still think it was the right play, though, right? Because now Metal Cooler finishes up. Excellent. All right. We did it. All major bosses down for this one. Okay, that's not true. We did fail against the Omega. I do think... I'm not saying we couldn't get an Omega run. I think if I tried it outside of this, probably will get it done. But as you can see, Omega is probably the most difficult for Cellmax's team. Omega itself is also kind of difficult for Cooler's team, just because, right, it is a rather long fight. So it makes sense that that fight would be challenging for a character like Cellmax and his team, especially, like I said earlier, in these longer fights, you do really feel the lack of a second tech Metal Cooler. And so running two Cellmaxes, while it greatly increases your offensive capability, it does leave a lot of room to grow for the defense, as you saw. He's a great character. Love his domain. It's very powerful. Causes some great shenanigans, as you saw throughout this stream. And I do appreciate all of you guys who have stuck around for the entire stream. We went a little bit longer than we usually do for the streams, but we kind of had to, right? We had to make sure we got through all of the major fights. So if you're watching this on the VOD later on, make sure to hit the like button. If you're watching this on stream right now, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you sub if you enjoy the content, if you enjoy what we do, and if you enjoy watching me suffer with some of the most horrendous RNG we have ever seen on stream to date. So with that said, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the grand tour of the Cellmax. And if nothing else, guys, thanks for a great stream, and we will see y'all next week. Good night and aloha.